Hello everyone, Dan again. Obviously we had a huge update the other day by Intrepid Studios about the Alpha 2 launch date, a roadmap AMA livestream happening this month on August 16th, and the BART reveal. So let's start with the obvious. Alpha 2 is no longer quarter 3, it is now quarter 4, but Steven did reveal it will be this October, so a month later than originally planned. Now this isn't a huge deal, but Steven did have this to say about the timing.
I know that I was watching, kind of in Discord and across the community, different thoughts about other games that have releases in August and in
In
September.
September, yeah.
Did we take into account that around Alpha 2? I mean, obviously we take a lot of things into account, right? When we are determining when we're going to do certain days. Those were definitely taken into account to a degree. But also at the same time, when it comes to stability, when it comes to the polish that we want the intro to Alpha 2 have, October landed around that time frame. So we're pretty confident in October, very much so, to at least give you that month. And coming up for the roadmap discussion on August 16th, when we have that AMA, we're going to go into detail around what the plans are for Alpha 2.
And this is something that Intrepid has done in the past when they know other games in the MMORPG genre are going to be releasing a game or expansions are coming out. They try and go out of their way to be respectful to players' times, so everyone has the time to do both things. I don't see that as an issue. Now, I've seen people getting videos out highlighting this information and comments across social media as the sole reason, and some other things that made me give my head a shake, but what Steven says here isn't just about other developers releasing expansions or games, he's talking about stability and polish for Alpha 2, and they want it in a good place. We should be happy where Intrepid's priority is regarding this. And the last thing I want to touch on, which will most likely tie into the roadmap stream on August 16th, is the character creator. Now, there were a lot of people asking about this during the live stream, and it makes sense that they would just wait and do it in a couple of weeks, but it would have been nice if they said it was going to be included. Obviously, I personally think it's going to be, but it would have been nice for them to just be like, yeah, it's coming, don't worry. Now, I don't think Alpha 2 getting pushed back 4 to 6 weeks, depending on when you thought it was going to launch, is that big of a deal. If it means they need more time to address major issues from the networking side, which Steven did speak about just before the roadmap discussion took place, revealing that last Friday, July 26th, was the first stress test on the server and networking side with the 1500 Alpha 1 testers, which I'm not really going to highlight too much, but this seems to be the major thing that has really been the decision to push back a month and make sure it's working. Oh, and I actually forgot to bring up one last thing here regarding the roadmap, and that's getting the information tied to the sale of Alpha 2 keys. And I want to highlight this comment from a video I posted a few days ago. And this is from somebody named Ganju or Gaiju. Mate, no offense, but how brain dead are you? The whole reopening the key sale this early is so fucking scummy and makes the game look even more of a scam. They haven't even tested with 1K players yet, and now they want more player, even though they have 100K plus Alpha 2 key holders. LMAO. Okay, so I'm going to break this comment up into two sections. One, obviously, I'm going to focus on the end of it, which is the 1K players, the Alpha 1 key holders that were invited to the playtest. Well, stress test. Now, you thought 1K players were invited. Well, now we know it was 1,500. We know the realm didn't crash. Steven said they were running another test this Friday, which actually, as I'm recording it, today is August 2nd. So that stress test is happening today. And obviously, he goes into detail saying one of the things they want is the polish, making sure that the servers are working, aka realms. I don't really understand why people were upset about the fact that they pushed it back. I know that this obviously ties into everything you said, but if you would have waited a couple days before making your comment, trying to base this as fact, I don't really get it. I don't understand. I know some things don't age well. This comment really hasn't aged well. So yeah, I don't really understand what the stress test had to do with me being brain dead. So I want to go into the next one. The whole reopening the key sale this early is so fucking scummy. This seems to be a very common theme among people with their opinions regarding Intrepid reopening Alpha 2 key sales. Now we know that information is going to be coming to us on the 16th, so that's legitimately 14 days from now. And I don't know if you watched my entire video when I was speaking on Alpha 2 key sales and my opinion on it. I understand why people think it's scummy, but the whole reopening the key sale this early is so fucking scummy and makes the game look even more of a scam. And I don't think you really understand that this will always be a narrative around the game. Now, before I get into the narrative and why it's always going to be a narrative around the game, and I'm not taking shots at this content creator, I thought the video was fine, but this happened a few months ago. There was a content creator shortly after the commission update came out named Nico Tulo. And before I started recording this portion of the video, I went back. I wanted to see, because I knew he started off the video within like the first 30 to 60 seconds talking about Steven's supposed scam artist past, the Apocalypse playtest that was a scam, just things like that. And while I don't necessarily think that's overly bad, and I'll explain why later, but that was somebody, at least from a content creator side, that I'd never heard of, that I had never watched his content before. And again, I'm not taking a shot at Nico. And Nico, if you do watch this, don't think that I'm attacking you. I'm not. But I'm bringing your video up as a good example as to why the narrative of the game being a scam is always going to be around. And to be honest, the opening of your video is a perfect example of that. And timeline-wise, Nico's video is actually very interesting. I don't think he did it intentionally. Shortly after what many viewed as the right thing Intrepid doing by getting rid of the way to buy your way into Alpha 2, we had a content creator come in not very many people knew about, who created a video bringing up exactly what you think makes the game look bad. So that right there should show you that it doesn't matter what Intrepid does, this issue, this narrative around Ashes of Creation and Steven himself is always going to be a thing. It's never going to go away. And it's interesting reading your comment. You make it sound like if Intrepid did not bring back the Alpha 2 key sales, somehow there's this righteous path, or like, I don't know, a fucking path of redemption, that if they didn't do this, people wouldn't view the game as a scam anymore. And to be honest, that line of thinking is so fucking ridiculous. It's never gonna happen. And here's the thing. You think right now it's bad? It's gonna get way worse. One of the things you should be worried about is the fact that this is going to get worse, but the fact that keys are going to be sold at a reduced price, and the potential for bad actors getting in who are going to make content, who are constantly going to be commenting on the game across social media platforms. And even if Alpha 2 is in actually a really good spot and people are enjoying the playtest, and let's say the feedback from the community is actually generally positive, that just opens the door for people to come in and shit on something, because that's what people do. So I'm just going to say this. There is no path of redemption. There's no way that Steven or anybody at Intrepid can try and suppress this narrative. And with that out of the way, let's get into the Bard. And I'm going to be honest, I have mixed feelings about what we were shown when it comes to this archetype. But I want to start with the melodies and dances, and to be honest, I think they did a good job. The Bard in Ashes of Creation is shaping up to be a potential archetype that players will want to have in a group when it comes to the party buffs, but also the crowd control aspect the class has to offer from both a PvE and a PvP perspective, from player movement speed, mana regeneration, heals over time, disarming enemies. There is a lot this class can do, and I think we are seeing Intrepid working towards that, and will continue to improve the Bard over time. Now, the other side of this is complicated. I'm going to try my best to explain it. While I liked what they showed us, I have concerns about the potential damage output from the Bard, and we did see some good offensive capabilities like Chilling Lament, Dark Lullaby, Discordance, and the Saga ability, along with a few others. Now, I do think that this archetype will truly shine when the class system is implemented, giving players a broader choice on how they can play, but that is something we unfortunately don't have a clear answer on. And for the last part of this update, I want to talk about something I feel has been missing from the MMORPG genre for so long, and I think Intrepid fucking nailed it. And that was watching people working together, wiping, and adjusting their approach to a situation. I know in the past, many people have been vocal about Steven's choice in going for that old school MMORPG feel, not having party finders, limited fast travel, the list goes on, but this gameplay right here, for me personally, they nailed that old school nostalgia, and I loved it. This feeling has been absent in this genre for so long. I can't even describe how happy I am just seeing it again, and honestly, it makes me really happy and excited, so good job. But yeah, this was hands down my favorite part of the entire update. And that's where I'm going to end this video, but I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions on the update, the Bard, or anything you enjoyed overall in the comments down below. So thank you all for watching, drop a like if you liked the video, and consider subscribing to the channel, and I will see you all in the next one.